That was a movie from the Bucharest event recently in Romania. Thank you for coming to Romania from our coordination side in ENUTC program here at JPI Urban Europe Urban Lunch Talk. Welcome to this program that we're gonna discuss agencies from ENUTC, how the program has went. We have had 2 calls. And it's been an exciting time since the first project kicked off in 2022. And then we had a second call. I'm just gonna end this presentation here with the movie. 2023, we had a second call. And we're gonna talk today about the outcomes and how we as agencies react. So we gather here as research and innovation stakeholders in and around our program that we think should eat lunch together or just talk during lunch as we do right now and synthesize this evidence-based knowledge that we get during such a program as ENUTC. And I'm Simon, and I'm hosting this program. I work as a communication officer at ENUTC, but also at Formas, Sweden. I'm also involved in Driving Urban Transitions partnership that a lot of you guys know about. And we were recently also in Milan, for you who were there. Then we met there. I'm based in Stockholm, Sweden. And Kristina, my fellow colleague from Formas, you're also based in Sweden, right? Would you tell us briefly about ENUTC program and JPI Urban Europe?
Yes, thank you very much, Simon, for inviting us for this small talk. So Kristina Laurell, I'm coordinating together with my colleagues from Formas, the ERANET co-funded program ENUTC, and ENUTC stands for European Networking Urban Transformation Capacities. So we are building knowledge by funding projects, research and development projects, and we are also developing it by the knowledge by workshops and lunch talks and things like that. And it's about the RURCH program. ENUTC is a part of the research collaboration JPI Urban Europe, and ENUTC is a program inviting researchers, urban government authorities, including cities and municipalities, also businesses, civil society, and other stakeholders to build these transnational consortia for the projects, but also to participate in the events that we are doing. So we also launched a second call with a focus on art and design, and we will talk more about that later on. I hope this gave a very broad view right now. We will talk more about this. Back to you, Simon.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Kristina. So I hope that we all have a nice lunch time here right now, and also the guests coming in. And I just want to say that this lunch talk is not about watching so much, but listening in. And if you have a comment, just share it in the chat. And we're also going to interact a little bit, not least for monitoring reasons. And this webinar or meeting is recorded. So should you have a problem with being viewed with your name, because it's going to be published on the JPI or Europe YouTube channel and be part of a newsletter and so on, then just contact me. And I also want to highlight that we're gonna listening in, and do you want to eat your lunch or sandwich? Do that, and you don't have to look so much. And we're also gonna take this tempo down a little bit here when we speak, so it's just gonna be a relaxing tempo for this interesting talk that we're gonna have we agencies together. And we're gonna talk about both calls, of course, both the co-funded and the art and design BTC additional call. So please contact me should you have any concern being recorded here. And this ENUTC program that Kristina also talked about briefly, it's been over the years in 2 calls. And we've invited researchers, urban government authorities, cities, municipalities, business, civil society to build this transnational consortia. The goal has been to create innovation and research projects that enable and support capacity building for urban transformation, also in art and design. And now that the program is coming to an end, and when the echoes from the last event, the Grande Finale in Bucharest, are sounding out, what could then be said about the program in terms of output or expectations from the beginning? I will start off with a tour de lunch table, actually, by reading out expectation quotes here. So how about this? For our funding agency, Uefiscdi, ENUTC provided a great opportunity and paved the way towards an increased involvement of Romania in transnational research and innovation programs addressing the sustainable urban development. It was the first time our agency participated in a call secretariat team and hosted the call on its submission system. Furthermore, at the national level, we had a very good number of applicants and a high rate of success in terms of projects recommended for funding, included one coordinated from Romania. So now we know that it is you, Elena, who wrote this. Would you comment it briefly?
Thank you, Simon. Yeah, I think it speaks by itself. So it was really, really a good opportunity for the agency and for the applicants. And, you know, when visiting here in Bucharest this autumn, you could meet some of the applicants of the first call and of the second call. And from our point of view, participating in the second call as a funding agency in a pilot dedicated to urban transformation through art, that was also a great achievement. And I didn't mention it in the code itself, but it's really a basis to get to non-usual suspects in terms of applicants in Romania. So I think we had a very, very good chance to increase our participation as a country in the program itself and in such programs, but at the same time to experiment. And that's really a good chance both for a funding agency and for the applicants in each country. I don't think it's only Romania.
No, I don't think it's, thank you, Elena. I don't think it's only in Romania either. But let's keep on here and read out the next expectation. Initially, it was expected to expand Lithuania's participation in transnational urban transformation research and to strengthen this thematic area nationally. But in fact, we gained much more. When joining ENUTC, RCL was funding only research and higher education institutions. However, ENUTC call became the first opportunity for other actors, municipalities, companies, citizens, organizations, to join as partners in a research project. It was a turning point that helped to bring research closer to policymaking and societal impact. So, Asta, please, would you comment a little bit? Why was it important for you and your agency to participate from the beginning?
Thank you, Simon. As I have said, this is really important opportunity because as Elena was mentioning potential suspects as regards the second BTC call, I would say that we had a very great impact on unusual potential suspects having in our research projects as well. We have had a great opportunity to participate in the first call. Unfortunately, we couldn't join the other one. But I think that a lot of was gained to our research community and to the idea how the research projects could be implemented and what results they could show. So that's shortly.
Thank you, Asta. Yeah, we're glad that you are with us in one of the calls. That's very good. And I'm going to read out the next quotation here, or quote. Initially, it was expected. That was your quote, Asta. I'm going to start here instead. It has been a great learning process, taking the role as a coordinator of an ERANET program. We thought that we needed to subcontract experts, but instead we created in-house capacities for strategic international collaboration, communication, and accounting. With support from our partners, we could together put new requests into our international calls with the aim to support urban transformation capacities. Kristina from Formas. Why was it important for Formas to take on this coordination role?
Yes, it has. I don't think we really understood in the beginning how important it has been for us. So it was the last ERANET in the Horizon 2020 program. And our partners, they had from Austria and France, I think, also have been coordinating the previous programs under the coordination of GPI Urban Europe. And it was like our time to do this. And then we realized that a coordination is something different from being a partner or a VP leader or a task leader in an international program. We realized that we need to learn more. And the subcontracting part was in the beginning, we had some communication partners and so on, but then we realized that we don't know, and to subcontract somebody, we really need to put the requirements, also requests, when subcontracting anybody. So we started to think that we tried to do it by ourselves, and then we took the lead for the communication work package, and Simon, you were the one who came to us and started. And we learned from our partners who have done these things before. And we can now take this learning with us to other international collaboration that we are involved with, also within the partnership for the driving urban transition. That is the closest one for the ENUTC. And here we can see close links between what we have learned, what we have been doing in the ENUTC program, and what we are going to do in the driving urban transition partnership. And I think also for us, working together with the partners, as you, Asta and Elena, and now Emina, also our Swedish partner, it is building trust because we get to know each other and we get to share the knowledge in between the partners and then inside into Formas also. So we are building trust between the partners and we are building a capacity for international collaboration within Formas that we can use for the future. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. And I
Have
recognize a
something
little
more?
bit of it also from Formas side. Thank you, Kristina. Emina, you're from the Swedish Energy Agency, also from Sweden, having your lunch here in Stockholm. No, in maybe.
Yes, in Stockholm. Thank you, Simon.
Yeah. What would you say from your agency's perspective? I mean, it's a lot of DUT right now, and this was maybe one of the last Horizon 2020 calls to enter as an agency. Why was it important from the Swedish Energy Agency perspective to be a part of both calls?
Yes, as you said, Simon, it's like a last ERANET co-funded program under Horizon 2020, which had a strong innovation approach and have been focused on the both transformation and how to build capacities in communities at the same time. And it was something new because we, as we know, had a few ERANET co-fund program, different thematical issue under umbrella of GPI Urban Europe. But this one, it was like the last one, and also with the new approach, innovation approach to do transformation. ENUTC identified development needs for transformative approach so that we could make transformation and initiate mission-oriented activities to build capacities in the Horizon Europe co-funded partnerships program. Because it was like a bridge between Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe. And one of the Horizon Europe co-funded partnerships program is the DUT partnership, as Kristina mentioned, focused on the key challenges in urban transitions. And this partnership started in 2022, which means the same, we had the ENUTC ongoing parallel with this partnership. And partnership builds on intensifies the ambition and efforts of the few ERANET co-fund programs, including ENUTC, which have been developed under the umbrella of GPI Urban Europe. If I can say something about the DUT partnership, the vision of the partnership is a climate neutral and resilient urban future for all, and also mission to fund transformative research and innovation to build capacities of urban stakeholders and empower them to drive urban transitions in Europe and beyond. Which means that actually ENUTC help development DUT partnership in the beginning, because this program we run parallel with the DUT partnership. And to reach this vision and mission of DUT partnership, we organize 3 transition pathway, which is interconnected between 50-minute cities, circular urban economies, and positive energy districts. These pathways provide a holistic and systemic approach to tackling urban challenges, fostering innovation, and enabling cities to implement sustainable solutions. Which means that actually all this work which we done in these two calls in ENUTC be parallel testing even and switching and bridging to the DOT partnership open call which organized annually in this new program. That's why I see actually ENUTC program as a program of interactive learning, of testing interactive learning between funding agency, between different participants. As we mentioned, we involved the cultural sector, which was the first time in our ERANETS program that we involve art and cultural sector in our activities. And probably we're going to discuss a little bit later, more deeper, how we thinking about this work which we done in ENUTC and how we would like to enabling much more in DOT partnership. I think this is really important to have to continue discussion how to do that.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Kristina. Not Kristina, Emina. me and names today. But we are a few inside this room. Let's just say we don't have to use any Menti. We don't really even have to use the chat, I think. We can just say, I'm in Stockholm. So Emina, you're in Stockholm also, right?
Yes.
And Elena, where are you?
Bucharest, Romania this time.
Yes, that's nice to hear. Kristina, are you also in my hometown here?
Yes, I'm in Stockholm.
And Francesca Ranalli, you're with us today. Where are you having your lunch?
I'm in the Netherlands.
Yeah, the Netherlands, yeah. What town?
Currently in Delft.
Yeah, right. Yes, where we had our midterm and kickoff for the second call. Welcome here in this room together with us. And Asta, would you tell us also your town?
I'm in Lithuania, in capital Vilnius.
Exactly. So we're kind of spread out. We're European here. And I'm drinking latte. I don't know if someone else is having a lunch at the same time. But we're a lot of otherwise you may say what you eat. But still, we are a lot of agencies here today. It's going to be for the newsletter, mainly this conversation, but it was also open for participants like you, Francesca, to join in and listen live like this. And what kind of organization are you from?
I work at Utrecht University, actually.
Yeah.
So I work in universities. And in a previous project, I've been part of one of the calls in a consortium with TU Delft, actually.
Yeah. Exactly. And what was the name of that call?
Trust making.
Yes.
We
Yes.
worked with the youth in between the Netherlands, Rotterdam,
Yeah, exactly.
Lithuania, and we had also Sweden.
Yeah.
And also Austria.
It was a quite represented project, trust making, yes. And we have one more question. What is the most inspiring new perspective or approach on urban transitions lately? That's also like a check-in question. We may just go around the table. It's on the theme that we take new ground in ENUTC with art and design. But the question here today is, what is the most inspiring new perspective or approach on urban transitions that you have heard of lately? Maybe we should start with you, Emina.
As I said, I think innovation approach, how to switch and to enable the work on innovation side, it was really challenging during the Horizon 2020 and all these previous ERANET programs. And when we started with ENUTC, we really stepping up the activities on innovation side and open up how to, and as I said previously, help the
Now I think we lost you a little bit there, Emina. So, Kristina.
Yes, I think I would like to say the cities' engagement in the transformation processes with their also connecting to the climate contract. We have had viable cities connected to this ENUTC program. It's a Swedish innovation program, strategic innovation program, and they have been working for many years now, working with the methodologies and also the connection between research, policy, and cities, municipalities. So I think that is something that I feel is very strong now going on, an ongoing process, really to have the municipalities, local government, cities, organizations connected to the citizens and to really innovative methods, use methods for creating a change, a transition process. And there, I think we can connect also the art and the creative sectors' important contributions, but we can come back to them.
Yes. Thank you, Emina. Would you please continue? We lost you there.
Sorry if it was like a Zoom connection.
Yeah.
Yes, and as I said, as Kristina mentioned now about the cultural and design sector, it was like a first time that through the ENUTC program, we enable potential of the arts and design sector as one of the key sectors in transformation process. And this is like a first time in our research innovation program that we are investing in this sector in our interdisciplinary activities and opens up enormously opportunity to use research innovation in the cultural sector as a key instrument in urban transformation. For example, using imagination and creativity is one of the tools in transformation process, which we can really develop further and explore further. It was like one example, but we have really many examples which we discussed in Bucharest at the final event. And when the cultural sector come back to us and enable potential which they can offer to the other sectors. And I think this is really interesting and important final message from this program to the DOT partnership, but even to European Commission, because now, as we know, European Commission started preparation work on the next frame program. That's why all this work which we actually initiate through the ENUTC is, as I said, help DOT partnership and the development of this co-funded partnership as a program, but now is also open stepping in the next frame program and helping even Commission to take this sector in the planning of the new framework program.
Thank you. And we will. I hear that we talk about. We've been saying great achievement, and the second call is coming up. We're taking new approaches and so on, being interactive. Maybe we get back to this a little bit. I'm going to read out a little bit of statistics here for us. I'm going to also welcome this guest here. And so we've had in the first call a budget of 18.4 million euro. It was a two-stage call. And we had 17 funding agencies from 14 countries. 3 topics: urban circular economies, community-based developments and urban innovation ecosystems, robust and resilient urban infrastructure and built environment. We had 16 projects with project coordinators from 7 countries: Netherlands, Austria, Spain, Sweden, Estonia, Norway, Romania. And less than half of the project partners, 91 of 206, were funded partners, while 55.8% of all the partners did not receive funding. And the largest partner group were universities and or other educational institutions there. We also had the city authorities, municipalities, 23.8%. And I will also say something about the scientific disciplines here. It was human geography, regional geography, regional planning. Other social sciences were also mentioned a lot, political science. A bit of technical sciences also, sociology. So this is for the first call. Do you have any comment here, Elena?
Yes,
when hearing these numbers, are we
yes,
good
definitely.
in the first call?
I think so. I think we're very good, and maybe we forgot to mention that with the ENUTC first call, the co-funded call, we made mandatory the participation of a city into a consortium. So that was the first time we actually addressed the involvement of a city directly in a consortium. And that's something that has been taken over by the Driving Urban Transitions Partnership now. So we started it. That's one very good point. And at the time, if you remember, the first call was launched during the pandemic, and we had a huge number of cities getting involved. An additional point, and that's coming back to my country in Romania, what we've done with this program, we succeeded to change the legal framework so that the research and innovation program can fund also cities that are part of these transnational programs. So that's a huge success, I would say, to make possible the changing in the legal conditions. You all know it's complicated, at least the funders. So we succeeded to do that. Of course, there are conditions, but still, it's a huge progress, because now we have cities that are part also of the EU Cities Mission or the national mission that are part of the Driving Urban Transitions calls. So that's how we started. And I think that's one of the major points that we don't stress too much when we talk about ENUTC, that we've made mandatory the participation of a city, a municipality, a city authority in a project proposal.
Thank you, Elena. Asta, you're also mentioning the stakeholder perspective, reaching out. How do you react when you hear those numbers?
I feel great. I would recall to what was said by Elena, that it was really a turning point. And now we have cities and other stakeholders involved as a partners in most of partnerships, not only in the urban ones, but in most of them. So for us as for funding agency, ENUTC was a starting point to involve other actors than universities and research institutes. In our case, until now, they have to be partners of a university or a research institute, but however, they can be funded from our budget. And that was a really game-changing thing we had. And we are really grateful for ENUTC that they were that they introduced that change, that they provided such an opportunity and such a requirement into the call text. And it was groundbreaking then, and still we have it until now. So I think that there is a fact we should be proud of quite a lot. Thanks.
That's nice to hear, Asta. We should be proud. Emina, we were talking also about these cities as a stakeholder, and you were mentioning mission-oriented, and maybe you get to think about this city's mission. And what do you say from your perspective, also thinking about the DUT and the mission, and the city's mission and so on?
Yes, as I said, this ENUTC, it was like a bridge between partly these two European frame programs, but even actually first program where we get the opportunity to test this and to started brainstorming around this mission-oriented approach. As you remember, at that time, when we open and design our calls in ENUTC program, it come up the Draghi report and Maria Mazzucato report, sorry, and first time enable the mission-oriented approach for all research community and even European Commission. And that's why this work, when we started ENUTC and design application to Commission with a focus on transformation process and capacity building, it was like a stepping in all this discussion. And of course, when we have discussion at the funding agency side, it's like how to create and design the program, which we need to invite different actors and to help different actors to stepping in this discussion. That's why I see like a ENUTC program as like a first program which open up this discussion about different approach in a research community, research innovation community. And we maybe talk about the transformation process, we enabling transformation process, but also identified needs of the capacities, to build capacities, how to do this transformation. And it was like a first platform or first program that we opened up this discussion. And as Elena mentioned, like a good example is to many agencies to open up that cities could participate and cities could participate in the project and get the part of the national funding through the national budget. It was like on the infrastructure side, added value what we done, but all this opportunity to have this dialogue and to enable the problems both at the funding agency side and also at the other participants. It was really important, and it was like added value with this program. Because previously we had a few programs, but it was organized at a similar way, and the structure which is more the same in the all national in the all countries and even European level. But this program, it was like open up the new ideas and new sectors. As we mentioned, cultural sector, we never think about that in the previous program, and how to importance of these activities and this sector. Yes.
Sorry, was it, did you think of something there?
No, I already mentioned this. Maybe if you going back to the culture sector and the progress which we done jointly, actually, how to invite different stakeholders in our work, because mainly it's easy way to invite academy, and through the academy to invite applicants to participate in our call, but it's much more difficult to invite different stakeholders from different sectors. And when we talk about culture and art sector, it's like a much more difficult to find the connection to these activities which we already doing in existing programs. That's why this is like a first time that we done this experiment and really work on innovation side when we talk about design of the calls, European calls, and joint activities together with the other funding agency in this program.
Yes, thank you, Emina. And we have been speaking a little bit again about the second call. I'm just going to read out some statistics here also. So for the building transformation capacity through arts and design, BTC ENUTC, or additional call, the second call in ENUTC, we had a budget approximately 4 million euro. It was only a one-stage call. And we had 8 funding agencies from 7 countries. And the funded projects were 5. And they were from 5 countries: Latvia, Netherlands, Poland, Romania, Sweden. It was the funding agencies, yes, from these countries, yes. We had a lot, yes, all right. 3 topics: experimentation and co-creation for a beautiful and sustainable urban future. The second topic was transformation to sustainable cities, urban transformation. And then we had the third topic, designing inclusive, livable, and green neighborhoods. And almost half of the project partners, 18 of 37, 48.7% were funded. So more than half, 51.3% of partners did not receive funding. And the 2 largest partner groups were, again, universities, other educational institutions. 43, it was 81%. 81%. The 2 largest partner groups, accounting for 81% of all partners, were universities or other educational institutions and other non-profit organizations. There we had 14 partners, 37.8%. So if you understood me here, then we may comment a little bit here, Kristina, because it was the
Yes.
additional call was on us and also Svea, the Swedish Energy Agency. Would you tell us a little
I
bit?
think sometimes with the statistics in this way, it also shows a bit of a wrong perspective because also we have, or correct, because we have also the cultural and creative sector, first of all, at the universities. So they are there. So it has been a discipline that has, as other disciplines, more focused on calls for their discipline. And now they have been able to apply fundings in the urban area much more than usually for them. So that is the good thing, that it's not our traditional researchers that have applied so they are a new target group. But then also, as we said, to fund in the Swedish system, and I know it's the same thing, is that we are funding the project leader for a group. So that may also be in some way statistics to look at who has the lead, who is the money going to. But then the universities also then or subcontracts or collaborate with other project members. And that is sometimes difficult to see in our statistics here. So I think that the involvement, summarizing this, is that there are much more people from the creative and cultural sector in in these 5 projects than the statistics really give a view of, or that they are going also to the universities, but they are also going to other kind of organizations. I think we need to, that will also be documented. But I think, Emina, yes, you can raise your hand and you can give more views of this, because you are the ones. Yeah, please, Emina.
Yes, thank you, Kristina. And what I'm thinking now, we talk about the role, what we done on the agency side, and how we help these different stakeholder groups to invite them to this call. But at the same time, I think that our work actually had a huge impact on the cultural sector, because they started to think in the other flow and how they can really be part of our calls and participate in our calls and find a way to the funding at the European level, but even at the national level. That's why for me it was also that after this final grand event in Bucharest, also like more clear that cultural sector started to mobilize the different groups in the cultural sector, because there is many broad aspects which they are working on, and how to link to the other sectors. It was like first time that they opened the eyes and opened the mindset for our work in the other sectors. And we see in our Swedish project, for example, we funded 3 or 4 projects in the last call. We see also the representatives, of course, academy, but even academy representatives from cultural sectors, and even associations like cultural association, cluster of cultural associations of Sweden in some of the projects, which means that we really open up and initiate this dialogue even between the stakeholders in cultural sector. But I think they still need to do homework and to work much more on mobilization of experts and activities to enable this work for the Commission and even for the national funding agencies, because many national calls could be even linked to these sectors on somehow.
Yes, and I think it's a good time here to read another quote. And our current crisis is not only about the environment and the climate, but it is also a crisis of the imagination. To quote, not only you, Kristina, but also I think you, Emina, have said imagination today. And imagination, when mentioning this expression, it is easy to attach to it positive feelings, and we may all start to envisioning, fantasizing, dreaming of a bright, sustainable future. But how important is it to go beyond borders with this expression, imagination? How important is imagination and this call to be spot on?
I need to come in very quick, but I think also Asta and Elena had some views of it. I think it is it's about finding methods to involve, to make research and development and innovation projects. And these methods, they are developed by artists and designers, or they use them. And then together, in the projects, there can be created something new by using these methods and give new insights and create something. It's like, it's co-creation I would like to highlight as one important word for everything that make a change. We need to do it together, and the artist and the creative sector has that. So that is finding new parts. So imagination, it's looking to the future, imagining something what we together would like to have in the future, or to imagination, the feelings that we maybe we tend to use theories asking to put up hypotheses, but that in natural research we use the methods to verify research and build knowledge on it. But using like social science or more like the humanistic science and the artistic, the sciences, you go for another perspective. You use other methods. So new methodologies are used for transformation. Yes.
Wow, that's good. That's good summarizing for the importance of methods here. Asta, please.
Thank you, Simon. I think that we have cases where in urban transition, we go to more technical urban fixes. And what creativity does in that case, they remind us that humans are in the center of urban transition with their needs, expectations, and emotional background that was said by Kristina as well. It kind of helps us to bridge and connect the expectations of our societies and to like more holistically to respond to all the challenges. I think this is quite important thing that we have to think of. I was really impressed about the results of BTC call in Bucharest. I think that it is a very good case in showcasing how creativity, arts, and designs can be a very valuable part in urban transition. So that's my impression.
That's a good input. It seems that we agree of the level of importance and what creativity and this expression imagination has meant for ENUTC as a whole. We've been having a lot of dialogue also lately, in not least when we have met physically and online on events, not least during 2025. Where we've been discussing challenges, and we can draw a lot from this creative mindset. So I'm gonna post a question here in the chat. I think it's easiest, and it's the question is, what needs to be included, or really who needs to be involved in this kind of dialogue in the end? For a bright future, urban future. So I'm posing the question and quite a few alternatives, and I'm gonna see how you react here. What needs to be included? What is the most important 3 alternatives here, maybe? What would you say, Elena?
Well, I'm very close to the cities mission, and here in Romania, we're keen and very deeply working with it at national level. So I would definitely everyone will always point to funding levels or funding sources. But that, and we all with the city have realized that community building is key. We mentioned earlier here that people-centered actions should be more impactful, or would be more impactful in any urban action we take. So that would be my first take, and then knowledge of practice. That's definitely something that can be relevant in any field that tackles in a way or has to do anything with the urban change. And of course, we can talk indicators and other carbon footprint indicators or measures we want to look into. But I think a clue, and that's something out of the European conversation now, that we need to get research closer to our urban transformation or any urban process we want to approach. So I would choose the research approach as my third option from this list you pointed here, because I think it will make a difference in the future.
Thank you. We only have a couple of minutes, I would say 1 minute left, but I would like to just hear a project's perspective here. Francesca, you have written community building and bridge builders.
Yeah, I mean, that's my topic. So I'm also very much biased on that. But I think that communities are at the center. I heard today that humans are at the center of the transitions. And I think communities should be there, and not only during the projects, but should be given the tools to continue, because they are going to be living in the places where we are going to do projects, design, and they should be able to continue. Today I heard something about giving funding to residents to give to continue as a researchers, actually. So to do actually community of practice themselves, really bottom up. So I think that's important, and the bridging part that I also wrote is to bridge buildings between disciplines, but also between research and practice. In research and projects, we write a lot about societal impact, but do we really do it? And that's why communities should be at the center, because then it's not just the impact of our research, but it's kind of a mutual relationship where we, planners, researchers, will learn from the community, and we build together, co-create together.
And that's really our expectation, our experience also from ENUTC when meeting on site and online, of course, also. But thank you. I see also comments about awareness raising of the global changes and international collaboration with cities involved. I see partnerships, international collaboration, governance structures, bridge builders. There's a lot to do further on for urban transformation. And I'm going to end the program here. Thank you very much for this session that we had. Elena, Kristina, Asta, Emina, and also Francesca. And my name is Simon. And this was an Urban Lunch Talk from the ENUTC perspective. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simon.